A wise man once said, life is short, so smile while you still have teeth. Teeth not only helps us to chew, but it also gives aesthetics to our expression. My name is Joy Mukherjee. This is Epitome Classes. In this lecture, we would be discussing in detail one of the major components of our buccal cavity, that is teeth. So, without further ado, let's begin with the structure of teeth. And I would recommend you to grab a pen and notebook as I would be giving some really important notes which I would like you to jot it down. Teeth is broadly classified into three parts, that is crown, neck, and root. So, as you can see from this diagram, the part that is exposed outside, this part is known as dental crown. So the part of the teeth that is exposed outside is known as crown. The Now the next part, that is neck. Neck is the part where gum surrounds the crown. Over here we have a cross-sectional diagram of a tooth. So if it would have been an original tooth, then you would see that these gums which are present on the side, this surrounds the tooth from all directions. Therefore, the part of the crown where gum surrounds the crown is known as neck. And whatever part that lies below neck is referred to as roots or root. Okay, so one by one we would be discussing in detail all the three parts starting from crown. Crown, the outermost part of the crown, is known as enamel. Enamel is a hard shiny layer that covers the tooth from outside. It is also the hardest part of human body, and it is majorly composed of calcium phosphate, that is Ca3, PO4 whole twice. Please note it down. Next, we have calcium hydroxide, that is CaOH whole twice, and then we have calcium carbonate, that is CaCO3. So these are the three major components of which enamel is made up of, and this enamel is secreted by a special type of cell that is known as enameloblast. So this layer of enamel is secreted by a special type of cell that is known as enameloblast. Enameloblast. All right. Then the next layer that lies just below enamel is referred to as dentine. This is the layer of sensitivity. This is the layer where sensitivity of a tooth can be felt, and this comprises the main part of tooth. Dentine is the second layer, and below dentine we have a layer that is composed of soft gelatinous tissue, and it is referred to as dental pulp or pulp cavity. So this part this part which you can see over here below dentine is referred to as dental pulp or pulp cavity. So this is a region of tooth where all the blood vessels and nerve tissues are present. So there are nerves and blood vessels present in this part, therefore it becomes a living part. It's a soft gelatinous connective tissue which is composed of various type of cells grouped together. Now finally we have pulp canal. These narrow path that you can see at the bottom which enters into this pulp cavity is referred to as pulp canal. It is a path through which blood vessels and nerve enters into the pulp cavity. So I hope this much is clear to you. And finally we have and this part, since it is below the gum, it is referred to as root of tooth. Okay. Now over here you can see this is the blood vessel From here, blood vessels enters into this pulp cavity. This is the major blood vessel running through the gum, and through this major vessel there are blood vessels which enters into the pulp cavity. I hope this much is clear to you. Diagram is extremely important. I would recommend you to take a screenshot and practice it 2 or 3 times. Now let's move. Now, type of teeth. Type of teeth. In order to understand type of teeth, first of all we need to know that there is a differentiation on the basis of morphology. Teeth is differentiated on the basis of morphology. Now, what is morphology? Morphology is a study of structure, shape or form of any particular organism or any particular part. So over here, since we are studying about teeth, we would see what is morphology of teeth, and on the basis of this morphology, that is the structure, shape and form, teeth can be classified into 2 types, and the 2 types are homodont, 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 and heterodont, HETERODONT. So homodont and heterodont are the 2 classifications on the basis of morphology. Homodont, where all the teeth are similar in shape and function, they are referred to as homodont. This kind of teeth you would see in lower vertebrates like amphibians, reptiles and fishes. If you have ever seen a shark in a picture or a movie, you would see that all the teeth that is present in the jaw of a shark, they are similar in shape and they are similar in function. They look somewhat like this. If you remember, they look somewhat like this. This is the jaw. Over here, all the teeth are similar in shape and they also serve a same function. Therefore, this is referred to as homodont, and these are found in amphibian, reptiles and fishes. Then comes heterodont. Heterodont refers to those organisms where teeth are different in shape and function. Best example is human being. We can see that in human being there are 4 set of teeth. They are different in shape and they serve different functions. Therefore, it is known as heterodont. So if you would be asked a question that under which category human beings are categorized, so it would be heterodont, that is different teeth for serving different purpose or different function. So let's quickly see what are the different set of teeth that we possess. They are basically 4 set of teeth, that is incisors, canines, premolars and molars. One by one we will discuss each one of them in great detail. So first comes incisor. They are chisel shaped. What is a chisel? Chisel refers to a fowler which we used for digging soil. So it is chisel shaped and it is adapted for cutting. So purpose of incisors is to bite. The first bite that you take of your favorite food, you use your incisors. When you take a bite from an apple, you use your incisors. They are the front teeth. And they are used for taking a bite on food. So over here in this diagram, you can see this front teeth is known as central incisor. A teeth that is present just beside this is known as lateral incisors. So these are incisors. Now, total in all there are 4 incisors. 4 incisors are present. These 4 front tooth, they are known as incisors. The next set of teeth that we possess as a human being are canine. These are fang-like, used for tearing and piercing. Fang-like teeth means that they are tapering at end like this. So over here you can see very well that this teeth is canine. This is fang-like teeth and it is used for tearing and piercing. Non-vegetarians might very well correlate. Whenever you are tearing on a piece of a flesh, we use our canines. Okay, then comes premolar, premolars and molars. Premolars, these are the set of teeth which are present at the back end of your jaw. And finally, we have molars, which are the broad teeth. Both of the teeth serves the purpose for chewing the food. So thorough chewing of food is done with the help of premolars and molars. I hope you have understood. what are the function of each one of them, and you should remember the name, and diagram is also again important. These are incisors. You can see it is chisel shaped. It is used for taking a bite on food. These are canines. These are tapering at the end. It is used for tearing and piercing of flesh. Then we have premolars, which are comparatively wider at top in comparison to incisors and canines. And finally, we have molar, which are absolutely broad at top. So for these two teeth, the purpose is thorough chewing of food, while incisors is taking a bite and canine is for tearing flesh or piercing flesh. I hope you have understood the function as well as the shape and size of all type of tooth. Now let's move ahead. This is the most important part of this lecture, that is the dental formula. How to write a dental formula. This dental formula represents the type of teeth that is present in each jaw in case of human beings. So I'll quickly explain how it is done. It might look very difficult to you, but in actual it is not. So what we have to do is, we have this lateral cross section that has been shown for upper jaw and lower jaw. So from here, what we do is, we draw a line of symmetry that can divide this jaw into two halves. So when you divide this jaw into two halves, you would see that you will get two identical halves, this upper half and then this half. So we will take only one half and we will consider the teeth which are present on this. Now the first teeth that you can see over here is incisors. We have just now discussed, they are used for cutting or taking a bite on your favorite food. So these two are eye, that is incisors, which are represented by eye. Then the next teeth that you would see over here is canine. So this is, you can see as it is pointed from top, this is canine. And finally we have two premolars. These two are premolars. And finally we have three set of molars. So in dental formula, we just represent the type of teeth with the help of numbers and in the same sequence as they are present on our jaw. So the sequence will remain the same and we would just represent the type of teeth that it is. First we have two incisors, so we would write 2. Then we have single canine, so we would write 1. Then we have two premolars, so we would write 2 again. And then finally we have 3 molars, so we would write 3. Now this line that you can see over here, this is not division. This is just a demarcation. Please remember, don't confuse it with the sign of division. This is not division. This is a sign of demarcation. The upper part represents the upper jaw and the lower part represents the lower jaw. So if we consider this one as upper jaw, then in lower jaw you would see again everything remains pretty same. First we have two sets of incisors which are represented by eye, then we have one canine, then we have 3 premolars, and finally we have 2 molars. So we would write this in form of number. Since we have 2 incisors, we will write 2. We have 1 canine, we will write 1. We have 2 premolars, we will write 2 again. And finally we have 3 molars, so we would write 3. I hope this is very simple, and this itself represents the dental formula, that is 2123 dash 2123. This is a dash. This is not a sign of division. Please remember it. I'm telling you again and again. It is just a demarcation, so as to show that which is the upper jaw and which is the lower jaw. I hope this much is clear to you. Now, when you have to find out the total number of teeth, since we know that we have divided this into 2 halves. We have divided upper jaw and lower jaw into 2 halves through a imaginary line, and we have got same halves on both the sides. We have got same quarters on both the sides. So what we would do is we would just multiply it by 2. Why we are multiplying it by 2? Because same set of teeth are present on this side and same set of teeth are present on this side. So it is repeated twice. So since it is repeated twice, in upper jaw we would write 2, 1, 2, 3. This is into 2. This into 2 represents this side and this side. Then again on lower jaw we would write 2, 1, 2, 3. Again you would see there are same set of teeth on this side, there are same set of teeth on this side. So we would just multiply it by 2 again. So when you would multiply the upper side by 2, you need to add all this. That is 2 incisors, 1 canine, two premolars and 3 molars. So if you add them all, you will get 2 plus 2, 4 plus 1, 5 and 6, 7, 8. 8 into 2 would be 16. So there are 16 teeth present on the upper jaw. Now let's talk about the lower jaw. In lower jaw also we have taken only half of the jaw because the other half is exactly identical to this half. So what we will do is we will just multiply it by 2 and we would add them. That is 2 plus 1, 3 plus 2, 5 plus 3, 8. 8 into 2 would be 16 again. So we would see that there are 16 teeth present on the upper jaw and then there are 16 teeth present on the lower jaw. If you add both of these, you would get 32. So this is the total number of teeth that is present in an adult human being. So in adults, we have 32 set of teeth. So therefore, this is how we got 32. I hope you will remember this. So this is how we represent dental formula. Let's move ahead. We would quickly see functions of the teeth, though we are already aware of, but we would see it in bit detail. That is, first is mastication. Mastication is nothing else but chewing. Mastication is other name for chewing. Therefore, normal teeth form and proper alignment ensures efficiency in mastication. If your teeth are properly aligned and if they are in proper form, then you would be able to chew your food better. So it enables, normal tooth enables proper efficiency in mastication, that is chewing. Next is aesthetics. As we have talked about this in the beginning of the lecture itself, it provides a sense of aesthetics. It looks good. The appearance, the appeal becomes good. Your face appears good if you have a nice aligned set of teeth in your lower jaw and upper jaw. Then another role of it is speech. Now this is very important. If you see old people, those who lose their teeth, or if you see a young person who has not yet developed all set of teeth, you would see that whenever they speak, their speech is slurry. You won't be able to understand it as clearly as when an adult person is speaking. Therefore, it also plays a very important role in speech as well. It form an alignment of the anterior and the posterior. Anterior and posterior just refers to upper and lower teeth. Assist in articulation of certain sounds. Certain sounds are produced with more clarity when we have the set of teeth present on the upper jaw and lower jaw. Therefore, speech is another function, major function of this teeth. Finally, we have protection of supporting tissue. Now, can you tell me what is the supporting tissue? I hope you remember we have just discussed the soft gelatinous tissue that is present, which is the pulp cavity or the dental pulp. So, in order to protect that dental pulp, since it's a sensitive area with many nerves ending and blood vessels, we have a protective layer of enamel on top. Therefore, it serves for the purpose of protection of supporting tissue. So these are the basic 4 functions of teeth. If it would be asked, you can write any 3 or 4 because they are quite easy to remember as well. I hope you will remember. I hope you have written down the important points that we have discussed in this. So these were the functions of the teeth. I hope you have enjoyed the lecture. If you have, then please do like and subscribe. Thank you so much. Have a great day.